Hi there, it's Lukasz for the Tech Travel Geeks, and today I'll be sharing the unboxing of one of the most exciting pieces of equipment I've ever owned, the Sony a7S III full-frame mirrorless camera. I finally upgraded after around 4 years of using the Panasonic's GH5, and wow, have I been happy so far. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks to see more videos from us, many of which will be filmed with this camera. I ordered this camera just before Christmas, but it took around 6 weeks to get to me. Nevertheless, it arrived safely, so better late than never. I really like the packaging, especially the orange accents on the sides. We will see some of those later on the camera itself. There's a lot of text on the box, including a lot of specifications, but let's just see what's inside and discuss the specs later. The box was actually opened before I got it, but that's because, as you'll see, the seller added a memory card I ordered to the box itself. But it's not a normal SD card, it's a new and super fast CF Express Type A memory card, which we might do a separate video on in the future. There's also a note of replacement for some memory cards, but luckily mine aren't affected. There's more paperwork, like the reference guide, some leaflets, instructions in Arabic, Chinese, and in English. This camera is really complex, so it's actually a good idea to read through some parts of it at least, as it might be really helpful. Or you can just binge watch on YouTube, there's plenty of tutorials available. There's a rather mysterious accessory included, a screw-on protective cable cage, which can be used to protect the cables from accidentally breaking, especially if you use HDMI. Speaking of cables, there's a USB-C cable included, which can be used for data transfers, charging, or to convert the camera to one of the best webcams available. Behind door 1, we can find a secret package, but we'll get to that soon. Door 2 includes a battery charger, which even has a charging progress indicator, which is great to see if you want to know how long until the battery is full. I also got a few plugs, including a European one, an Australian one, and a UK one, which I'll be using. There's a really nice camera strap with the aforementioned orange accent and the a7S III logo. A 2280 mAh battery. I also separately got a spare one. And finally, the camera itself. Let's see this beauty. The first thing I noticed was that, for a full-frame camera, it wasn't too heavy. Actually, it's 26 grams lighter than my Panasonic GH5 camera, which is great for such a powerful device. It feels like just the right size, sturdy but portable. However, it has to be remembered that full-frame lenses are large and heavy. For example, the two Sigma lenses I got add up to 1.33 kg and 1.53 kg with the camera, so holding it is a bit of a commitment. The build is really strong, with a big and handy grip, and the camera itself is water sealed, so it should survive most conditions, including Scottish snowstorms we've been experiencing here in Edinburgh. The camera has plenty of buttons and controls which feel really good. It's a bit confusing that one of the dials requires holding the release button while turning it, while the other is a lock on-off switch. I'd prefer both to be on-off switches, but that's not really a problem. I'm still working on learning and configuring all the physical buttons, but there are 4 configurable buttons and plenty of other controls. I really like the focus joystick, it feels great, as well as the record button, but personally I'd make it orange to match the branding. On the left side of the camera there are 2 memory card slots which support both SD cards and the new CF Express Type A format, which should be used when filming in high quality or high frame rate modes. I got one of those cards and a reader, so let us know if you'd be interested to hear more about them. But it's great to see that you can either use the new cards or good old SD cards, assuming that they're the faster kind, for most modes. The biggest physical improvement over the previous Sony camera is the flip screen, which is really what convinced me to get this camera, as I love it in my Panasonic cameras. It looks great and is really useful, and a lot of effort was put into making sure it doesn't get blocked when it's not necessary. It works great when you need to film from different angles, or if you want to vlog, or want to monitor yourself when talking to the camera. It's very strange to me that their new camera, the Alpha 1, doesn't have a flippy screen. The electronic viewfinder is also top of the line, with over 9 million pixels. It works really great. And finally, the camera sensor at the front. It's a full-frame backside illuminated CMOS sensor by Sony. It's just 12 megapixel, but it means that the pixels are much larger, so they can collect more light. If they decided to cram more pixels there, they wouldn't be able to be as sensitive, and since the focus of this camera is 4K video and not photography, 12 megapixels are just enough for 4K. I don't mind the lower resolution at all, since the photos I've been taking look fantastic, and I'm not planning to print any billboards in the near future. So, what are the real highlights of this camera? It offers amazing 4K video in up to 120 frames per second, which can be slowed down to 20%, producing some gorgeous results. The footage looks amazing and can be recorded in multiple formats and color modes, including the 10-bit 422 pixel format. 10-bit means that it can record up to 1 billion colors, as opposed to over 16 million for 8-bit. That allows you to control the final image after filming it, which is really useful if you want the best out of your footage. 422 can then produce a cleaner image. Just be aware that such footage can be very taxing on your computer. My workstation with Intel Core i9 and GeForce 2080 Super struggles playing it, so I don't always film in the highest quality possible. You can also go as fast as 240 frames per second, which means that the video gets 10 times slowed down when exported to 24 frames per second. Just check this good boy majestically running through the snow. We won't be focusing on all the modes and file types here, but if you want to hear more about the technical detail, make sure to check Gerald and Dan's excellent videos. What else? To me, the most important thing and the reason why I moved from Panasonic was autofocus, and this camera is top of the line. The eye detection works brilliantly, and there's even animal eye autofocus in case you want to film your pets, something for Mateo's cats. For people, just check how it keeps the focus on my partner. She had to come in really close for the camera to temporarily lose focus, but it got it back immediately. The other amazing feature is the aforementioned low light quality. The camera can basically see in the dark. I'm sure this will come in handy in the future when filming footage that's not very well lit. The ISO can go as high as 400,000, which is just out of this world. The stabilization has also improved, including 5-axis stabilization and steady shot mode. It's great to see, as I'm already used to Panasonic GH5's amazing stabilization. And for me, the other thing is the bokeh, or the characteristic out of focus blur. Thanks to the full-frame sensor and lenses with high aperture, you can see some excellent separation of the subject from the background, which looks really natural, as opposed to what mobile phone cameras can produce right now. You can also see some interesting bokeh balls, which are created when there's a light source in the background. It's so good that I need to try and stop myself from overusing it, and it's not easy. Who is this camera for then? Priced at $3,500 or almost £3,800, it's aimed at semi-professionals or professionals, or enthusiasts willing to up their video game. It should, for example, be amazing for wedding photographers, once weddings return. It's also been widely adopted by the YouTube community, with many creators cancelling their Canon R5 orders, even though the latter supports 8K video. If you want the highest quality of 4K video with excellent slow motion and low light quality, and are willing to spend that much money, you won't be disappointed. That's it for this video. We might follow it up with other camera related videos, but we'll definitely continue filming with this camera, including our upcoming reviews of the Samsung S20 FE and Nokia 2.4, which we recently filmed with Mateo by the majestic Forth Bridge in Edinburgh. So make sure to subscribe to our channel, leave us any comments or questions, and click on the video on the left to see more videos from us. But for now, thanks for watching.